Hello and welcome back to the MC Championship video. The date for the next Canon MCC event, which will be mcc.live, was announced earlier this week, so let's talk about it as well as everything we know so far about the upcoming event. But before we spoil the facts, a reminder that only a small percentage of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed, so do me a favor and check if you're subscribed, especially if you're new around here so that you don't miss the latest MCC news from me. So at 4 PM BST on Tuesday 30th of August 2022, the official MC Championship Twitter account posted saying, "The Decision Dome reopens for MCC 25 on Saturday 24th September, catch you next week for teams." As usual, there are three parts to this tweet: the date, the rough time frame for team announcements, and a highlight video from the previous event, and this one shows Tap L's victory in round 3 of Hole in the Wall from MCC 24. Firstly, the date. Although the tweet doesn't make clear the exact time and the time zone to go by, it remains the same, as a similar announcement in the official MCC Discord shows on screen right now. Here's what it says: MCC 25 is close at hand. The Decision Dome opens its doors for more Minecraft mayhem. Saturday 24th September 8 PM BST/3 PM EST. So the Discord announcement clarifies the confusion over exact start times by reminding us that the start time will be 8 PM and the time zone is British Summer Time BST, which is the current standard time zone used by the UK, which is where the Noxcrew, the team behind MCC, are based. The UK uses BST each year from the end of March to the end of October, and the other time zone it uses for the rest of the year is Greenwich Mean Time GMT. So for MCC 25 it's BST, important to make that distinction. Therefore make sure to use a reliable time zone converter to find out when MCC 25 begins in your local area. For people living in the east of North America, it's definitely 3 PM Eastern Standard Time EST, as the Discord announcement also mentions. It's interesting that there is no initial tweet before the actual date announcement tweet that teased the potential for the next event revealed beforehand. This is becoming a less common feature now, as now the MCC Twitter tends to announce the date as its standalone tweet with no teaser earlier that same day. But I guess it made for a nice surprise, especially at the start of the week. Also, focusing just on the event date itself, it looks like there will be a 5-week gap between MCC 24 on August 20th and the upcoming MCC 25 on September 24th. Now this 5-week gap is common, but not as frequent as the standard 4-week gap between events, so now we must wait an extra week compared to, for example, the gap between MCCs 23 and 24, which was 4 weeks. MCC are trying to make date announcements more random. You see, the last time there was an event which began 5 weeks after the previous one was MCC 23 after MCC Pride 22. The MCC 23 date announcement was on Monday 27th June, exactly 9 days after Pride 22. However, this time we are seeing a gap of the same length, but the MCC 25 date announcement was a little later if we consider the same timescale. This time it's been announced on Tuesday 30th August, exactly 10 days after MCC 24. Therefore, the thing to take away from this is that when you're waiting for the next event, expect the date announcement to drop at any point in the week. Even for events which are separated by 4 weeks, we've seen the date announcement days for those events change too. For some reason, the MCC 25 Discord announcement didn't include the new Discord events feature, which was used for MCC Pride 22 and MCC 23, but was mysteriously discarded for MCC 24. This is the second time this exciting feature hasn't been used, which lets you show your interest in that event and notifies you within the Discord app when it starts. Perhaps it's been permanently removed, maybe it wasn't successful enough. If you needed that feature, you can instead set up your own alarm clock to remind you, especially if you've traveled to a different location with a new time zone, but still want to see the event and are worried you may forget. That almost happened to me with MCC 24 actually. Final thing to note about the date announcement is that the event date wasn't the only thing to have been hinted at. The Twitter post in particular also said catch you next week for teams, followed by a rocket ship emoji, which is different from the other emojis used in previous date announcement tweets in 2022. So teams will roll out at some point during the week beginning Monday 5th September 2022, which is quite a long distance from the date announcement. It's well established by now that whenever teams are announced, the first 5 will drop on one day and the remaining 5 will drop the next day at around the same time, and there's typically a 15-minute gap between each team's announcement. We are left with 3 likely day pairs for team announcements, so either the Monday and Tuesday pair, which is uncommon but not rare, and if this is the correct pair, then teams should drop on Monday 5th and Tuesday 6th of September. It could also be the very common Thursday and Friday pair, which is used most of the time, and if this is a correct pair, then teams should drop on Thursday 8th and Friday 9th of September. Finally, there's a chance that it's the less likely but still possible weekend pair of Saturday and Sunday, and if this is the correct pair, then teams should drop on Saturday 10th and Sunday 11th of September. Remember that these are educated guesses and they could throw us off by introducing a different day pair instead, like Tuesday and Wednesday, which for team announcements has never happened in season 2. This is just speculation, so there's a small chance that I may be wrong, but if you want my genuine opinion, I'm leaning towards Thursday 8th and Friday 9th, since the other 2 pairs are either too far or too close to the actual event. Indeed, Monday 5th and Tuesday 6th are incredibly far from the 24th, which is the event date. Too far for team announcements, but Saturday 9th and Sunday 10th seems more reasonable, although it is much further away from the date announcement on August 30th. Since Thursday Friday has been used for every canon event this year from MCC 20 to MCC 24, expect teams to drop across these 2 days. That practically covers the date and some info about the teams. Now let's discuss everything we know so far about MCC 25. Well, for starters, it's of course going to be a regular canon event. I'm sure that's well established by now, but what I want to focus on is a couple of other smaller details that could shape this event to be really unique. It's worth looking back at past events that took place around this time in previous years. There have been 3 in September so far: MCC 9 on September 12th, 2020, MCC 10 on September 26th, 2020, 2020, and MCC 17 on September 18th, 2021. Now, since neither event was directly linked to the other, in other words, there was no recurring theme, besides False Symmetry winning every September event ever, expect MCC 24 to be completely normal with no cosmetic overhaul. Also, don't expect a new game to be added this time. We currently have a whopping 12 games for Season 2, which is excessive. Also, with Meltdown joining the Decision Dome recently in MCC 22, it's extremely unlikely that Noxcrew will once again choose to add in another game. This therefore leaves us with 12 potential games from Season 2 that could be played in MCC 25. Remember that on the Wednesday leading up to each event, the games graphic is revealed on the MCC Twitter, so we will know in advance which games will be in the upcoming roster. The games graphic usually holds 9 games for most canon events, and as a result, 3 games are benched entirely, but since only 8 games are actually played, an additional 1 game will be skipped during the event, despite being in the Decision Dome. Here's a reminder of every Season 2 game so far: Ace Race, Battle Box, Build Mod, Grid Runners, Hole in the Wall, Meltdown, Parkour Tag, Rocket Speed Rush, Sands of Time, Sky Battle, Survival Games, and To Get to the Other Side of Whack-A-Fan, or TGTTOSAWAF. So let me know down below in the comments which 3 games you think will get benched for this event, and if you're feeling brave, then on top of that, tell me the 9th game that players will be able to vote for, but which you think will sadly get skipped for the whole event. Of course, it's possible that there are more than 9 games on the roster, but there shouldn't be less. As in canon events, there must always be the chance of 1 game getting skipped so as to add to the element of luck and surprise, especially for the final choice for Game 8. Furthermore, with MCC 24 featuring the Build Mart remix called Sands of Mart, it's reasonable to assume that there won't be another game remix for MCC 25, since there have never been remixes in back-to-back events. And the Noxcrew confirmed in the MCC 21 update video that remixes won't happen in every event. There are sadly no participant birthdays on September 24th, so no in-game celebrations with decorations in the hub, as we saw twice in MCC 24 with Shovel and Cub fans' birthdays, which I completely missed and forgot to add in the Everything We Know So Far About MCC 24 video. From now on, I'll make sure to include player birthdays in future videos if they fall on the day of an event. Finally, to finish off, let's look at some MCC participants who have confirmed their absence for this event. The major headline is obviously concerned with the Dream Team, aka the trio of Dream, George Found, and Sapnap, which does not include the other hunters in Dream's Manhunt Speedrunner vs Hunter series like Bad Boy Halo, and Frost, and Awesome Dude. According to audio clips from a private Discord podcast, the Dream Team are largely worried about George moving to America, so are unsure of when this will actually happen and whether this will conflict with MCC. So it seems like they won't be signing up to play in this event. This is not confirmed, however. As always, take this info lightly. There have been occasions where participants falsely state their absence for an MCC, but in actuality they end up in the event. Guys, before we end, remember that if you love talking about MCC just as much as I do, then remember that you can join lots of free official social media platforms to do just that, to talk about our beloved Minecraft tournament and all it has to offer. Check the links in the description of this video to join the official Discord server and subreddit page to discuss with other members of this amazing community and post memes or statistics. There's lots you can do. Who knows, maybe you'll catch me chatting there, so if you're interested, make sure to check them out. Now, there's probably a couple other small hints we've been given about what to expect from MCC 25, but I've talked through the most important ones here. Good job to Noxcrew for developing another great event, and to Scott's Major for organizing the teams, which should be dropping later next week as mentioned earlier. Well, I've been your host. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable, and I'll catch you on the next MCC video. See ya.